welcome the public and staff to this public hearing on HOC's proposed revisions to its administrative plan, Chapter 22, regarding the project-based voucher program. The Housing Opportunities Commission of Montgomery County is proposing revisions for its administrative plan for the Housing Choice Voucher Program. The administrative plan defines and describes the policies for the operation of HOC's Housing Choice Voucher Program. These revisions will go into effect following approval by HOC's commission. In accordance with the federal regulations which require the creation of the administrative plan, changes to this document requires a public notification and comment period in addition to approval by HOC's commission. This hearing serves as the culmination of this public comment period, following residents, community members, and others to have the opportunity to voice their opinions to HOC proposed revisions to its administrative plan. On February the 6th, 2026, HOC made available a draft of the proposed revisions to the administrative plan. The draft document is available for review on HOC's website, as well as two other publications, one in the Washington Post and the other in Washington Hispanic. Proposed changes to HOC's administrative plan are a response to HUD's regulatory changes outlined in the Housing Opportunities Modernization Act, which is called HOTMA. Final rules which were effective January the 1st, 2025. I'd like to acknowledge the presence of our President, Chelsea Andrews, and I'll, at this point in time, turn to Lynn Hayes, our Vice President of the Housing Resources Division, who will summarize the recommended changes.
Thank you, Commissioner Priest. Good afternoon. For the record, I'm Lynn Hayes, Vice President of the Housing Resources Division. The Housing Opportunities Commission of Montgomery County is proposing revisions to the project-based voucher program as outlined in Chapter 22 of the Housing Choice Voucher Administrative Plan. The project-based voucher program is governed by Section 24, Part 983 of the Code of Federal Regulations. The revisions to Chapter 22 include removal of old language and the addition and restructuring of updated regulatory language. The final rule of the Housing Opportunity through Modernization Act, or HOTMA, amends the timing requirements to execute the agreement to enter into a Housing Assistance Payment Contract, or AHAP, for the project-based voucher program, effective January 1st, 2025. The Public Housing Authority and owner must enter into an AHAP agreement that will govern development activity. The HOTMA final rule stipulates that the developer may begin construction prior to the execution of the AHAP, or the Housing Authority may elect not to use the AHAP at all. To exercise this option, certain requirements must be met. The development activity must comply with any applicable environmental review requirements. The Housing Authority may provide project-based voucher assistance only in accordance with the HUD subsidy layering regulations. The owner must pay Davis-Bacon wages to laborers if the development has 9 or more contract units, and the owner must be compliant with all laws and regulations regarding equal opportunity employment, accessibility, and Section 504 rules and broadband infrastructure requirements. Lastly, the owner must certify that he or she has not been disbarred participation in a federal housing program receiving funds from the Department of Housing and Urban Development. Conversely, prior to the HOTMA final rule, the developer could not begin construction until the AHAP was executed. In addition to this change, we are also making recommendations to include a listing of ineligible units that don't require for project-based voucher assistance. This would include shared housing, units on penal grounds or medical grounds, nursing homes, units that are owned by an educational institution, manufactured homes, transitional housing, owner-occupied units, and units that are subsidized with governmental rent that covers all operating costs. On February 6, 2026, HOC made available a draft of the proposed revisions to the administrative plan. The draft documents are available for review on HOC's website, as well as two other publications, the Washington Post and the Washington Hispanic. Staff presented the policy recommendations to the Administration and Regulatory Committee on February 17, 2026, and to the Resident Advisory Board on February 23rd, 2026. Both the Resident Advisory Board and the Administrative and Regulatory Committee support staff's recommendations to implement the regulatory and discretionary policies for the Housing Opportunities Through Modernization Act and implement revisions to Chapters 22 of the HOC's administrative plan for the Housing Choice Voucher Program. Staff recommends that the Housing Opportunities Commission of Montgomery County accept staff's recommendation to adopt new project-based voucher policies and authorize the president or her designee to implement the revisions to HOC's administrative plan for the Housing Choice Voucher Program. Thank you.
It's not on. So I will repeat that that there were no witnesses that appeared at this hearing. Therefore, this hearing is complete, and the record, which has been open for at least 30 days, is now closed. The Commission and staff of HOC look forward to continuing to work with the public to ensure the HOC satisfies its affordable housing goals. Thank you very much. It's adjourned as of 3:12 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you.